So I want to share a story with you guys, and it's a great story. It's doesn't happen too frequently, but every once in a while I get ID'd for alcohol. And it happened last night, and I don't know why, but it took me back to a place where I remember turning 21. Who's turned 21 before? Some of you guys haven't. I think about that celebration, and it was a great time, and I know a lot of people do a lot of crazy things. Well, I had just enjoyed an incredible meal. I remember it was fish and chips, and the fish was barramundi, because barramundi is the regional fish for Australia. And I just witnessed one of the most horrible things that I ever went on. It's a jumping crocodile tour, and it's in the Northern Territory, Darwin, Australia. And it was my friends that convinced me to go, and I remember thinking, this is the dumbest thing. These crocodiles are jumping out of the water. They're going to get us. This is dumb. Why are we here? So we went to drink and celebrate 21. And I remember in a drunken embrace with these friends walking down the street when something happened. And I didn't know what happened, and all I could hear was these whistles. And I could see these people running through the streets of Darwin, Australia in these little white uniforms. And when I looked closer, I realized it was sailors from a local ship. At the time, it was my very first deployment with the United States Marine Corps, and I was celebrating my 21st birthday. And it was a great time, and the first thing I thought was, man, this is a drill. This is our first port. This is a drill. It's all going to be okay. Well, it wasn't okay. My 21st birthday, the celebration lasted for a few days, so you gotta know it lasted about 3 days. My 21st birthday was on September 10th, 2001. And as we all know, that was the day that the world changed. And something inside me changed, because now we were at the tip of the spear. And we went north, and we did what we had to do, and we came home. Now, since that time, so many people have been affected by the conflicts since 9/11. And I just want to take a quick poll. In this room, if somebody from your inner circle, your family, someone you work with, has been affected by military operations since 9/11, just raise your right hand. What about the other circle, the big outer circle? How many people here have been touched? If you have been touched by either, just put your hands up. A lot of people aren't going to be coming back. In fact, over 6,800 people aren't going to be returning from those conflicts. So if you guys will just stand with me and take just a brief moment of silence for all those that won't be making it back. Thank you so much. Now, I want to talk to you about 4 incredible people that I have met that have also served, and the whole idea of how Discharge to In Charge came about. These people I have literally only met in the last 3 months, and I've physically shaken their hands. And all the time I go everywhere and people say, hey, thank you for your service. And I don't really know what that means, because I was gone for a really weird, I left whenever it was still peacetime, and I came back and the world was different. So I still don't know what that means, but I say, no problem, and I shake their hand. But there's something about the way that we transition into the world of business that's very frustrating, and there's a lot of people that have a hard time doing that. So the idea of Discharge to In Charge came to me because I want to help those people. And I want to talk to you about 4 veterans that I've met in the last 3 months. Clint Dooley. Met him at a marketing event, a networking event. If you see this guy, it's something different. Special Forces Green Beret all the way, and you can see it in his eyes. Most people are afraid to talk to him. But in the first time that I met him, he talked about passion, and he talked about helping people. And the first time I shook his hand, I was like, man, I could just hug this guy. And he hugged me for 5 minutes in an embrace. And then I asked him, I said, what do you do? What are you into? What have you done since you left? And he said, man, I used to teach firearms training, and now I teach people home defense so they can protect their families. And here's a unique way of how he does it. He uses simunition rounds that we used in the military that are basically paintball rounds that shoot the speed of a 9mm bullet. And 100 times, he's trained housewives to take the hostage shot, and he'll stand in front of a target right behind him, and with a very soft approach, he's never been shot in the face one time. The target has every single time. He helps people. He goes to their homes and teaches them how to protect themselves. Stacy Hester, I met him off of a flyer I saw at Panera Bread 2 months ago. Gave him a call. He told me a sobering statistic. Since 9/11, 88,000 people that have returned home from the war have taken their own lives. 88,000. So now I work with him and I mentor those returning veterans with the principles of discharge and charge. It's a journey that I just started about a month ago, and we're pulling all of our resources together. We're going to talk about Lee Cockrell, which most people don't know, some people do. In our company, we actually read books as a group, as a team, to grow together. The book that we just started 2 weeks ago is called Delivering Magic, and it's the story of how Lee Cockrell, an Army veteran, led over 40,000 cast members to help change the world through Disney and all the theme parks. He came to my office the other day for a different project, and I shook his hand, not even realizing he was a veteran. I hadn't read his book yet. But I shook his hand, and now I realize he's a veteran. Locally, I hail from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm passionate about a couple things. One of them is food. And if you guys want the most incredible pizza in Tulsa, Oklahoma, there's a great place called Andolini's Pizza. If you walk into Andolini's Pizza, it smells like Italy. I've never even been to Italy. I just know that's got to be what it smells like. I've been a fan of Andolini's Pizza since I moved to Tulsa 2 years ago, but I had the privilege of meeting him Tuesday because I found out his dad was a Marine. He was a Marine. His brother was a Marine, and his kids are Marines. Now, does that alone make a business stand the test of time? Probably not. But it definitely says something about it if it's the best place to get pizza in 3 states. Those are veterans. I'm a veteran. That's only 5 people. To complete all of that, I'm going to talk to you guys about 2 civilians that have made this whole transformation something to think about. As a fan of TED Talks, the first TED Talk I saw was Sarah Kay. The very next one that I saw was a gentleman by the name of Simon Sinek. Something about what Simon Sinek said in his speech about Start With Why it did something. I couldn't figure out what it was. I read his book, and I read his book, and I read it again. 3 times on Start With Why. And in Start With Why, he challenges Malcolm Gladwell, who said, if tipping points exist, we should be able to architect them. $6,800 people won't be returning home, but in the next few years, we're about to witness a tipping point that this country has never seen. 1.7 million veterans are going to be returning home. I've talked to you about 4 that have changed the world. 1.7 million are coming back. And where are they going to go? I'll tell you where they're going to go. They're going to go stand in line and wait to be told what to do, because that's what we as veterans do. We go and we wait and we do what we're supposed to do. Some of them are going to go to school. A lot of them are going to go to school. But that's not going to solve the problem of 37% that go to school that come out underemployed or unemployed. So where are they going to go? Some of them are going to go and try and solve things on their own terms. That's what led me to Veterans Treatment Court. Veterans Treatment Court is where they go when they've lost their way. They're one step away from prison because nobody told them where to go. I want to be that voice to tell people where to go. And it's right here, in our world of small business. If these 4 people can change the world, what can they do for your small business? Some of you may have had the pleasure of working with some of these incredible human beings. But if you haven't, that's what I want you to think about. Next time you go up and you thank somebody, ask yourself, is this the person that can bring a whole new level of leadership to what I'm doing? Is this the person that can scale things in a way that I could only imagine? Because that's what we do. You realize that if you looked at the military itself as a business in a different industry, it's one of the largest businesses in the world. Day in and day out, people from your small towns all across the country go and serve. And where are they going to come whenever they get out? Exactly where they feel safe, back at home. So the question that I want to leave you guys with is, if 1.7 return home in the next few years, what if we gave them all the tools and all the resources that they need to take that same passion, that same sacrifice that they've used to protect this incredible country that we live in today? What if we gave them the resources they need to fundamentally change the way that we look at leadership in the world of business? Because I'll tell you what, this book right here is Simon Sinek's second book. And most people don't know about it, but I went to 3 different places yesterday and it was sold out. And they said it's flying off the shelves like crazy. It's called Leaders Eat Last. And after his quest from Start With Why, he started working with the United States military. And here's what he found. In the military, we give medals to people who sacrifice everything for the people that they lead. And in the world of business, we give bonuses to people that sacrifice everybody else. We have it backwards. I believe that if we fundamentally change the way that we look at veterans in business, we're going to start to turn the ship around. And I believe that everybody's connected to somebody who can do it. Because the second type of person I want to talk about is that civilian. He's never served in the military. He's rode on the planes with them. And although I haven't shaken his hand in the last 3 months, I did get an email from his COO, and I'm working with them on a passion project to get their message and this message to the rest of the world. Thank you so much for being here today.